North to Port.
North to Port is brought to you by themusicclass.is. The Music Class. Don't just play, be a musician.
Welcome back. That was Mr. by The Demon. I'm Ken Sheevers, and we've got some great guests in the studio this morning. This is Barbara and Matt from North to Port. Welcome, you guys.
Thanks, Ken.
Glad to be here.
So you guys are in town to play a show, right?
We are. We just came in last night, and for the next 2 days, we'll be at the Hide-In, which is an awesome spot to play a show. One of my favorites.
I see.
Yeah, we both love it there. Great vibe. Show starts at 7:30 sharp both nights.
All right. Well, everyone here at the station will be at tomorrow night's show.
Awesome.
So I'll be there to cheer Matt and Barbie. Barbie.
Oh.
All right, now, is it Barbie or Barbara? How do you normally get addressed? I've heard both.
You can call me either, actually. Matt calls me Barbie.
Am I the only one?
You are. My family calls me Barbara. As you know, friends and fans at home call me Ba.
Bah, that's pretty cool. Where did that come from?
In Brazil, we don't do Barb.
You don't. Why not?
No.
It's a little bit too close to Barba, which means beard. So Ba is just a nickname that's easy on the ears.
It definitely is that.
Anyone that calls her Barb gets scissor kicked. Be warned, Providence.
Oh my.
It's true. I've seen it happen.
You have not?
Have so. Remember Stalker Tim the Time Lord?
Oh, gee.
You scissor kicked a stalker named Tim. Did that make him stop?
It wasn't quite like that.
It was a kick, though.
It was a roundhouse.
You roundhoused a stalker.
She did.
Well, I don't like violence, but for self-defense, sometimes it's necessary.
This sounds like a fine tale. Can you tell our audience what happened?
So earlier on, I think sometime during POW, there was this guy who became a bit obsessed with me. He was not the most stable person.
Barbie's being nice. The guy was a nutbag.
Yes. I'm not sure exactly how it started, but I was still in Brazil and this guy is an American, so I wasn't too worried about it. At some point, he started posting some stuff on my Facebook page and then somehow got a hold of my private email address.
Oh.
In the beginning, he didn't send me much, so maybe it was a little creepy, but he didn't seem threatening at all, just kind of a hardcore fan.
What type of stuff was he saying?
You know, the usual stuff that he's my biggest fan, that he was trying to save up money so he could fly down to Brazil to see me perform. Of course, once POW ended and I wasn't performing, I just figured I wouldn't have to deal with him anymore.
Did you respond to him?
On Facebook a couple of times, but never by email. But he started to get more aggressive, and at one point, he told me his daughter was a very big fan too.
And
that she was not doing too well.
he said she was sick with like cancer or something.
Yeah. And he said all she wanted was to video chat with me, that it would be a big thrill for her.
So you agreed to do it?
I agreed to do it, but it was all a lie.
He didn't even have a daughter. He just made all that crap up to try to trick Barbie, who's a very nice person, and just wanted to help.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
He did completely fabricate the whole thing.
What did he say?
Well, the lie made me feel uncomfortable, and once I realized that he didn't have a daughter, much less a sick one, I should have hung up.
He told her right off the bat it was a lie, but that he had something very important to share with her.
That's when things got really weird.
What do you mean?
Like bizarre, conspiratorial weird.
This is so good.
He told me his name. It wasn't Tim, but we call him that for the sake of the story. And that he was abducted from the past.
The distant past.
What the hell? Like when?
Like sometime during the Renaissance, and that there was this group that had abducted him called the XE Corp.
XE.
Yeah, it's EXY, XE Corporation.
Yeah, the XE. Apparently, this group is from our future, and they would travel back in time, abducting folks from the distant past, dropping them off in our time.
Why would they do that?
I asked the same thing, but Tim hadn't put it all together yet.
Oh, but he was working on it.
Yeah, he thought they were doing it to measure the effects of introducing a shocking cultural change on humans.
Tim, clearly a scientist, hypothesized that the people of the future had want for very little. The world's greatest issue, which is the need for abundant, clean energy, was solved.
Is that really the biggest issue?
Well, on this, Tim and I agree. Think about it. If energy is so abundant, you could make any good for little or no cost. So no one would go hungry or want for anything at all. There'd be no need for war even because everyone could provide for themselves. As you can imagine, it's just not worth going to war when there's nothing to gain.
Right.
And the environment would just keep getting cleaner as a byproduct of abundant energy as well. Of course, there would still be a small minority of sociopaths, but for the vast majority of people, there'd be no incentive to aggress against their neighbors.
I see what you mean. So why would the time travelers be measuring the effect of cultural shock?
Tim thought that the people of the future with very little wants had lost some of the drive that helps humans keep pushing forward. You see, they had overcome the biggest threats to their survival, and without that struggle, there was no need to keep trying to better themselves or the world. So they just kind of got bored, and that resulted in a very sluggish people.
Okay.
So that resulted in the suicide rate skyrocketing.
It's a pretty pessimistic outlook if you ask me. I think once the physical survival elements have been overcome, humans will begin to tackle the more soul-inspiring questions, produce more art, work on culture and discovery.
I'd like to think that.
No, these guys just stopped trying. So Tim said these future scientists wanted to do something big culturally to shake up the whole world, get them off their couches.
I fantasize that they wanted to bring dinosaurs into the future, a human predator.
Disaster.
I'm not sure about that, but apparently they're testing what a shocking cultural shift will do on a society.
And what better way to do that than by bringing someone from the distant past and plopping them in modern day America? That'll shake you up.
Right. So what I don't get, though, is how you fit in.
Oh, this is the best part.
Not for me. Well, he thought that I was also one of the abducted and that we were married.
Oh, my God. Why the hell would he think that?
Listen to this. So Barbie came from Brazil about 6 years ago, right?
Right.
Ken, did you ever hear about why she came?
No. Tell me.
Go ahead, Barbara.
I was dating this guy, and we had been together for about 2 years. It started to become clear that he wasn't the most stable person out there.
He wasn't abusive though, right?
No, but he was really jealous for one thing, and we fought a lot. So I won't get into all the details, but eventually I knew we were not a good match, and I broke up with him. And he wouldn't hear it. It's like he ignored it. It was very weird.
What did you do?
At first, I just stopped answering any of his calls and texts. Basically, I cut off all communication.
Did that work?
Not at all.
He tried to kill himself.
Right. It was more of a cry for help than anything, really. But he took a bunch of pills and told me he was going to do it. So I called the paramedics, and luckily, they got there in time.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have some tough men stories.
I do.
So then Barbara did something amazingly bright.
What did you do?
Well, I realized that this would never end as long as I was there, and that the only thing I could do was leave the country because he'd have no opportunity to try that kind of cry for help again if I wasn't there.
Good move. Did it work?
It did, actually.
Yeah.
And since then, we've talked. He's really doing much better.
He got some help.
He did.
You keep in touch.
We do.
Okay, so crisis averted.
Yeah.
But what the heck does this have to do with Tim?
So, my ex-boyfriend is named Lex, and his nickname is Lexi.
But he's the ex-boyfriend, so Barbara's husband refers to him as Exy.
Oh.
And one of the first songs Matt and I wrote together is called Exy. And there's this early video of us performing, and we're talking about the song before we play it. It's dedicated to Lex, of course, but I told the story of leaving Brazil for the US to get away from Exy.
Oh my gosh.
So Tim heard this, and his twisted mind came up with Barbie running away from Exy, like the corporation from the future, who had abducted her from the past, and thought that Barbie had actually come to the US to find her husband from the past, Tim.
That's insane. So then you saw him. He came to find you.
Yeah, about a year ago, Tim approached me at one of our shows. He got a little grabby.
And you kicked him.
I kicked him.
Lefty roundhouse, right to the midsection, and Tim went down.
I don't know what came over me. I just reacted.
Good thing you did.
Anyway, security got him, and Tim went all crazy pants with the police.
Where the heck is he now?
He is still in a facility under evaluation.
Man, never has a more bizarre story been told on these airwaves.
Barbie's lived an exciting life.
I know, right?
Well, thanks for the entertainment. And for everyone listening, make sure to catch these guys at the Hide-In. Are you playing with anyone?
Yes, an awesome band called the Brother Kite that actually hails from these parts. So get to the show on time so you don't miss them.
Well, thanks for coming on.
You bet.
Our pleasure.
Up next is The Void Left When I Slipped Away by North to Port.
Highway worn, on my last chance, looking at you. You had thought we'd be together again. Cry was wasted. All that's left is an echo chamber, a void when I slipped away. Try take it back, but you can't. He was the last act, turned into fugue state. But you had found permanent amnesia again. This time tested. All that's left is an echo chamber, and all you hear is yourself.
Wait, you're still here? Wow. Well, thanks for listening. And now that you got a second, if you're interested in supporting us, consider writing a positive review of our podcast on iTunes, or even purchasing the North to Port record in digital format, of course, from northtoport.com. Thanks again from Barbie and me.